All right, you guys, what it do? Your boy is back on the grind one more time. Your boy is back at it again, you guys, and I'm in traffic on my way home from work, and I was just thinking about how I really haven't put out any content lately. It's like one video every 10 days or something like that. But in reality, you guys, I really haven't had a whole lot of content to really put out, just because I really haven't been working on any of the cars. Obviously the little one and my day job has really been taking a lot of my time, and we did a whole migration deal with our new software from our gym. It's just been really busy, so with my wife doing a lot of the work, so I just had very minimal in that. But at the same time, I have a lot of my own work. But anyways, y'all, with all that being said, I thought that I would make this video, and this was kind of like a spur of the moment video from just footage that I had. But like the title says, man, we almost got a new car, a new old school, kind of by, I don't want to say by chance, but I had a college buddy's dad of mine reached out to me. He had a vehicle that they've owned for about 25 years, and they are not car people. Like, they're not old school car people. They don't know anything about it. They basically inherited it from his wife's uncle. So they just kept it because it was like a family, it was in the family. And they just didn't want to depart with it, so they kept it. They did some maintenance on it several years ago and just really kind of kept it, clean for the most part. I mean, it really hadn't seen the road in pretty much, the 25 years that they owned it. So the vehicle had like 88,000 original miles on it. So it was pretty clean, man. It was all there. And then I believe I wrote it in the title. If I didn't, it is a... I'll let you guys see the clip. I almost had what they call the kind of the Holy Grail. There's a lot of different cars that they consider Holy Grail, but on the West Coast, this is considered one of those Holy Grail type cars, of this particular style of car anyway. So anyways, with that being said, you guys, again, just to make a long story short, he called me for advice on how to sell it, what I think it's worth and whatnot. And I'm not too knowledgeable as far as value on this car, but I have a lot of friends that are. So I reached out to a few buddies of mine. They gave me a couple ideas, and they were all right around the ballpark of each other. So and I looked it up myself, and pretty much right there. So anyways, I hit them back, and this particular car could be in really good condition if it was like with the miles, and if it had like no dings, nothing like that. I mean, it's up there. I mean, maybe even close to, I don't want to say six figures, but it would probably be 60, 70K or higher. But in this current condition, I would say it's probably about half that. So we actually talked. I went to look at the car, and actually expressed interest in it. And in his, I don't want to say his defense, because you'll hear the whole story here after I'll show you these clips. He really didn't have any idea that I would be interested in it, because I think he might have thought that I knew that he had it, which I did. I just totally forgot. And if I would have remembered, I would have been all over it. Like, yo, if you ever sell it, let me know. So anyways, y'all, we did make a deal. I looked at it, and we thought we were going to get it. But I won't share you the rest of the story. I'm going to let you watch these clips here. My wife did some filming on it, and it's all shot in a vertical mode, so it won't be the full screen here, but you'll still get to see kind of what went on and what transpired. And this clip here is actually after we made the deal, and we thought we were going to take it. So it's a long story, but I just want to share it to you after you see this clip to see how happy we were that we thought we were going to get it. So anyways, if you're new to the channel, y'all definitely think about subscribing now, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff, y'all. Mr. Griffin 23 in the building. This video won't be super long, but I thought I would share because, man, we almost had it. We were really bummed when we didn't get it. But anyways, watch this clip, y'all, and I'll be back.
Watch your fingers, buddy. Yeah, I only worry about that stuff.
I know. His new thing is like opening and shutting doors.
Yeah.
Like, those fingers are gonna go at some point.
You ready, dude?
It's so quiet, which is so nice because all of his cars are so loud.
Pretty though, right?
Yeah, it sounds really
Yeah,
nice.
you can rev it.
What's up, dude?
What do you think? Say, is it ours?
Yeah, see?
Is that, oh, you took it out?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to hear it run.
Oh, absolutely. No problem.
All right, y'all. So you guys saw it, man. You guys saw it. 64 rag. 64 rag. And if you don't know what that means, that's what they kind of call them over here. 64 rag top, drop top, rag top, whatever. But 64 rag, 64 Impala, you guys. Not an SS, but I don't really know in the Impala world, especially the lowrider world, if they really care so much about the SS. I mean, the SS is always cool to have, but you know, it doesn't really, I don't know if it really makes a difference or not. I'm sure it holds some value, but anyways, I didn't care if it was an SS or not. The whole thing was there. You know, it definitely has seen its time driven on the road, for sure. It had some dents, it had some dings. I think every bit of the trim was probably dented up, but the main thing was it was all there. And to be quite honest, I was just going to clean it up and not really do a damn thing to it. I think the carpet was pretty dirty, but I probably would have just shampooed it out and cleaned it up and then just rolled it as is. And worst case, maybe put a new carpet in it and that's it. I really wanted to keep that thing original because they're only really original once. You know, that's why I'm not really doing a whole lot to the Buick, the Turbo Buick, because it's all original. And the paint on it, because I'm painting the car, is because it's kind of in the in-between. You know, it's like somebody tried to paint it and then they didn't finish it. What we ended up finding out, and then I don't want to go off, but we ended up finding out on the Regal is somebody did some patchwork on it, and then they fixed a few dings, and then they ended up painting it, and then they painted it a different type of gray, and it had a different metallic in it. So it has some other dings and dents and things like that. So that's why I'm painting it, because it was really kind of started and not finished. But with the Impala, it's so, actually it was repainted. The Impala was repainted, but it's so like original and everything. I was just gonna ride that thing as is, just probably put some new tires on it, leave the hubcaps. You guys know how I roll. I'll roll some hubcaps and just roll it as is. So we were so excited, but he threw us a curveball, and I'm not gonna tell you what I was gonna buy it for, because he's actually one of my best friends from college. Not the guy, but the guy's dad, and we've known each other for a long time. So I was like, yo, what's the family discount? So you guys wouldn't even believe me if you guys would have known what I would have bought that thing for. So anyways, just know it was a really good deal, and we agreed on it. And then after that, he was like, but there's one catch. And I'm like, oh no, really? He was like, I have a college buddy. It's pretty much my best friend from college, and he has been after this car for a while, and he always told me if I ever sold the car to give him first crack at it. And so I'm like, all right, you've been friends. I'm thinking to myself, you've been friends with this guy since college. I mean, it has to be, 40 years or more. And he's pretty much checked in with you, I'm sure, every year. He's not passing on this car. So at that point, my heart just sank. I got punched in the gut, and I knew that I wasn't gonna get this car, because there was no way he was passing on this car. No way. Unless there was some deal where, like, he was, I don't know, he was probably in a financial bind, or he just did this or this with a house and didn't have the funds, or whatever. I don't know. That was the only way that he wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, crazy things happen, but I knew he was not passing on it. So, but he was like, but I'll let you know here in a couple hours, because I'm actually going to call him after you guys leave, and then we'll go from there. So anyways, I was like, oh no, I'm not going to get it. But I tried to stay hopeful, and he called me about an hour later and said, bad news. He jumped all over it, which I figured he would. And he was actually going to sell it to him, I think, for the same price as what we agreed on, because he really didn't know what to sell it for. But I think he said that I'll just sell it to you for the same price that we agreed on, and we'll go from there. So I don't know, man. I felt, I don't want to say that I felt, because I know that he didn't know that I was going to express interest in it. And he was really just calling me for advice on a price and if I could help him sell it. So I think I kind of threw him a curveball when I said that I was interested. And then I wish he would have just told me that he was going to offer it to his best friend first too, because then we wouldn't have got our hopes up, because my wife really loves those cars. And she if there was any convertible she could have, it would be that, or like an A-body style convertible. And so that's why she was on board with getting it. And with the sale of the K5, we were gonna buy that, and then I probably would have ended up selling my Caprice, because the deal was we sell 2 for 1. And the Caprice, you guys, I feel like I've been kind of like, not sort of kind of growing apart from it, but I haven't really given it any attention lately. And mainly is because of the Chevelle and new projects and things like that. So I don't want to say so much that I've grown apart from it. I just really haven't given it any attention. But now I'm actually driving it more, and I really do love the car. But I would just say, if somebody brought some cash and they were willing to cash me out for it for what I think it's worth, I'm definitely not going to let it go for free or for anything low. Then I would probably let it go. But anyways, y'all, long story short, again, it just didn't happen for us, and it wasn't meant to be. And we were super pumped, and my son loved it. You guys saw him in there. He loved it, and I loved it. She loved it. And man, I really thought that I was going to be rolling in a 6.4 drop, man. Every time I see the pictures of it or video, man, I get super bummed. But it's always nice to have the cash in the bank and the cash in savings, and so that's always a plus. But now I can just dedicate the time, like I was going to anyway, to the Regal and get that thing dialed in. And speaking of, I just picked up the paint for it today. My buddy has it, and man, did I pick the right paint job. Man, this thing is gonna pop. It's gonna pop under gas station lights. It's gonna pop under the sun. It's gonna pop at night, under the nights. Oh man, it's super dope. I can't wait for you guys to see this. But anyways, you guys, that is my story. So I wanted to at least give you some sort of content, since I really haven't been working on the cars or anything. But Next week is preparation for the Good Guys show coming here to Puyallup, Washington. I will be there, so if any of you guys are going to be there that are local here, I'm going to bring the Chevelle. I might even bring the box Chevy. I don't know. My wife is going to come with me, and we might not have my son, although we don't have him this weekend, so we might or might not have him next weekend either, since he's with her parents. But anyways, the Chevelle will definitely be there because this is the most complete the Chevelle has ever been. And the only other things I really got to do to the Chevelle is I really want to do a trunk kit for it and do some other odds and ends, like a new gas tank, things like that, because I got to finish tuning it. But other than that, I'm really happy with where the Chevelle is. So I'm going to take the Chevelle for sure, and then it's preparation for that. And then after that, it's really just getting the Regal ready once I get it back, which I should hopefully get it back sometime in August is what I'm hoping, but the latest September. So we had some issues with, not issues, but he actually had to take the Regal down to bare metal because of the type of paint it is. So back in the 80s, from what we were finding out is, and he already knew this, but he didn't think that it was this type of paint job. So back in the 80s, they used lacquer paint, especially on these G bodies. But I think from what I've heard, from what a buddy told me today, he said in the late 80s, they kind of started switching over from lacquer. So it's kind of like a hit or miss. And my buddy Chris has painted a lot of G bodies, but they've never been lacquer. So he actually thought that it wasn't lacquer. And then when he started sanding on it and everything, I guess what happens with lacquer is it basically gums up on your sandpaper, and then that just is a telltale sign that it's lacquer. Anyways, he has to sand that down now all to bare metal, so that's going to push him back. And since he's doing it on the side for me, instead of getting it back to me in like 4 to 6 weeks, now it's probably going to take maybe 8 to 10 weeks, just because he's doing it on the side. He's kind of doing it a few hours here, a few hours there. But he says today it'll actually be all in bare metal, so he's going to send me a picture of it. So not to go off on that one, you guys, but that's kind of where we're at with that. So, but since we're sending it out to bare metal, you already know that thing's gonna be real nice. This paint job. So, and I did drop off all my trim. Since the trim was off, I did drop it off to a person here who does polishing and restoration on trim pieces. So he. All right, you guys, what it do, man? I wasn't able to film any of that because it's a one-man band over here, and this is the shop right here, if you guys can kind of see. So in a small town, man, one guy does all the work, and he's about 4 months behind, but super knowledgeable. He was directing me in the right direction, and he told me a lot of stuff that I didn't even realize about trim pieces and how they make it and how these repops are. And he wasn't trying to sell me anything or anything like that. He was actually saying, some repops are okay to buy, and based off of what I had, if I could find a repop, might save me a little bit of money versus him fixing it. But at the end of the day, he can fix everything that I have. But some of it's just time consuming. So, but he was super, super awesome, man. He was like, I would try to maybe find this piece if you can, but look at them all in person. And then kind of just go from there. So most of it is, all of it's usable. All of it's salvageable. It's just how far I want to go on it. So what he did is he took all the pieces here, and I left them with him. He said, just leave them here just in case you decide you want to just do it all. Or not do it all, and I'll mark ones that are in question, and then we'll kind of just go from there. So super knowledgeable guy. I'm really, really happy that I did bring it here. And like I said, man, these small towns, man, that these car guys that do this work, they've been here 20-30 years. I think he's been doing it 34 years, and one-man band, and just does it all. That's why he's so far behind. So, but I'm not in a rush. The trim has been off the car for years already, so what's another 3-4 months, you know? And by that time, summer will be over, and we're getting into the fall and then winter seasons, and then so it's going to be down anyway, so I won't be driving it that much. Although turbo cars are really nice to drive in the fall and winter in the colder weather. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at with that. Got the paint on that, and we're working on the Regal now since we didn't get the Vert. But hey, that happens, and you know, something will come across our way. But now I'm kind of itching to get an Impala, so we'll see, you guys. We'll see. But anyways, I'm about to pull up to my house here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get off. But if you're new to the channel, definitely think about subscribing, y'all. Hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, y'all. Mr. Griffin 23 in the building. Yes, sir. Good things coming, man. Just stick with me. I know the videos are slow, but you know, I'm doing what I can. Like they say, what they say, life be lifing, life be happening. Life is hectic sometimes, and I'm kind of in the middle of that right now. But stick with me, you guys. And then when I get the Regal back, that's going to be more content on that, because there's some things that I do want to do to that, even though I'm not going to do a whole lot to it. There's some things and some projects that I do want to attack on that. So that one's called the Less is More build, and you're going to see why once I get that thing back and we get that thing dialed in. All right, so again, if you're new to the channel, definitely think about subscribing, y'all. Hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, y'all. Mr. Griffin 23 in the building. I'm out of here. Deuces. Peace out.